Alright guys, morning. So we kinda in our car right now because normally when we shoot in Starbucks, it have like 30,000 children inside it right now. So the noise factor is quite significant. Hi Jamie, I know you're sad, like that pink car is gorgeous. I thought that's what you was gonna buy actually. So
Pinker.
yeah, the pink Honda Fit. Nah, you need to see that pink Honda Fit.
I need to see it.
The pink Honda Fit is our boss color. Can we get Nah, you gotta push it. Let me see, how much angles can I do here? Nope. Let's keep it here. There's the easiest one. Lovely. So guys, sorry for all the change around. So myself and Lyndon here, what we are gonna talk about is the movie Hitch. And I don't think we have to go into it much because I think a lot of people are aware of what of the movie Hitch. That is a movie with Will Smith where he was the guy who used to set up people with their dream.
Yes.
Men, specifically men with their dream dates.
He was a dating consultant.
Correct. But in particular, what Lyndon and I love about this movie is that there are two particular scenes in sales. And what we want to focus on these scenes is the reason that in sales, I think it's important for us to focus on the outcome. I think outcome is really, really important. So when it is that you're interacting with customers, don't look at the entire transaction. But like for me, when I speak to everybody, I always say, let's look at the end result and let's work our way backwards and see what it is we need to get done.
That's correct.
So, Lyndon, you take it. You do your scene.
Yeah, well, one of the best scenes for me in Hitch is, well, first and foremost, so for everybody that's on Instagram Live, once you know the movie Hitch, send a thumbs up to indicate that you're familiar. All right.
Yes.
So, in the very opening scenes, you have a guy by the name of Chip. He's looking at Eva, and of course we know Eva is gorgeous, right?
Yes.
So he's looking at Eva, and my boy decides to go and make a pitch, right? Now, in his approach, he took a very generic and a very winged approach in terms of walking up to her, using all his best lines, and he got shut down every single time to the point where she embarrassed him, and he said, so what did they call you? He said, well, they normally call me Chip. And she said, can't they get them to stop?
Yeah. So they immediately started throwing objections.
So, exactly. So it started there from the offset. Now, the thing is that at the same time, you had Will. He was on the back end and he was talking to the bartender.
Doing his research.
The bartender was giving him particular information about who she is.
Insight.
Understand? So you must have intelligence. But anyway, let's go back to Chip.
Yeah.
Right? So Chip got rejected the first time, right? He tried another line telling her how beautiful her eyes are, right? The most important, you know what's one of the biggest things I think Chip made? The biggest mistakes? Chip assumed he knew what drink she was drinking, so he brought her apple martini.
He started off wrong.
Which was a really soft drink.
Started off wrong.
So what happened there is that Chip was burning, he was losing, he was crashing and burning
From the introduction.
And she was just letting him have it, objection after objection after objection.
Yeah.
Until Will came in. So he actually interjected. And sort of...
And Will's timing as well in terms of how he interject was perfect.
Was perfect. So he actually saw what was happening and Will was actually going to go across. Also note that he was actually walking across with 2 drinks initially.
Yeah.
Right? But I'll tell you what happened with the 2 drinks after the fact. So, Will saved Eva from Chip. Chip got the rejection. He ended up leaving. She said, Will asked, how was the meeting? Meaning, how was the discussion? And he said, well, she said that there was a beginning, a middle, and an end. And she looked at Chip, and Chip quietly got up and he left. Now,
he finally got the clue.
Most salespeople make that mistake in relation to not doing your research, taking a generic approach with a customer.
Not listening to your customer signals. So he wasn't listening to your customer. He
was
just kept pitching.
All the way in
this is my sales pitch. This is what I can offer. This is me.
That didn't work. Let me try something else.
Try something else.
You know? So you know those 1990s or 1980s used car or car salesmen in the US?
That's what it was.
Every line that they had was a hot line. Every line that it was always a pitch, but not listening to what the person was saying.
Yeah, for him, I have these 8 lines, and I use these 8 lines for everyone. So he got rejected.
Yeah.
It's probably going to work for someone else. He didn't take the time to listen.
When he went down, crash and burn. Crash and burn.
For me, what I look at, and something important to note, which is what I always stress on, is insight. Like Will Smith took the little time just to find out something and then choose his drink of choice, because the guy said she normally drinks beers, but today she's drinking dirty
it was some particular drink.
And he got that for her. The timing after is when they finished the conversation, he started to ask her questions about her. Like he immediately went into her and he did questions based on the assumption from just finding out what she liked and what he noticed that the bartender told him. So he was taking that information and spread it out as much as he can.
What he also did is that he raised her interest because, again, okay, look at it for us. People sometimes genuinely have a perception about salespeople.
Yeah.
She had a perception, and he actually led the conversation along that way. She had the perception of all men had this particular approach.
Yep.
Right? And he went against the grain with that. Where she was even saying, well, you know, at around this time he's going to say how he's going to use some particular line, and he said no.
Nope. And
every time he did something that was contrary, she paused. Right? So what Will did was that what Hitch did, let me use it from the term of the character, is that he took a different approach, but he studied. Eva is a large customer. Right?
A large customer.
He profiled the customer to the information that he got, because even when he sat down talking to her, he was telling her, you're not wearing earrings, your hair is pulled back in one, you're wearing glasses, but you're not reading. He was paying attention to what the woman was doing.
Yeah.
You understand?
He didn't come about him. He came about her.
About her.
My focus is you. That's what he did.
You know what was interesting? He did it to the point where he only had one particular goal, and that was to get some information from her, get her name, just find out who she was, that kind of thing, and
that was it.
Left.
So he knew his end result.
Yeah.
Nothing else. He focused and he totally understood his end result. My end result is to get information to her, because I don't want to get a date now. I know I will get a date, just not right now. I just need to make sure that the assumptions I have about her are correct. And that's the question, like, are we doing that for our customers? Are we making sure that we are focusing on them? Like, let's be honest, guys. Whatever product you sell, it's great.
Yeah.
We know.
It has a purpose, it does what it's supposed to do.
We also know that your product is the best product your customers could ever get. So stop selling it and start understanding if it is ideal for the customer.
Yeah.
That is the main thing I think we're missing. Like, stop missing that point. And I think that's going to be my LinkedIn post for this week. Yes, your product is great. Yes, you know you're the best person to sell it. Yes, you know your client needs it. So stop selling the product. Focus on the customer.
You gotta focus on the customer. And that is all along the lines of engagement. Now, just again in relation to the context of that of Hitch and Eva, is because of the fact that he did two things out of the AIDA principle, which is awareness, interest, desire, and action. He did the awareness and the interest.
Yep.
Right? He raised the awareness. He actually raised the awareness of who he was, because he gave her information as to who he was.
Yep.
And he also gained her interest by speaking about things that was different, and at the same time in relation as to how we actually left the conversation open. And that actually, Jarrod, led into exactly how he was able to get the date.
Exactly.
So now we'll transfer that across to you. So
let's talk about the date, because the date scene is what actually brought up the conversation with Lyndon and I. So where Will Smith gets the date with her is the following day, I believe, which is, I don't think it's the next scene, but it's like a couple scenes after.
Scenes down, yeah.
A messenger shows up at Eva Longoria's office, and he asks for her, and in the box, which is what the messenger bought, was a walkie-talkie where Will Smith starts the conversation. And Will Smith's entire focus was, I want to get a date. So if you notice in the movie, in the scene where the scene ends, Eva asks, what if I didn't say Sunday? Because he already had alternatives set up. Because at the end of the day, he knows what his product or service can do. What he's focused on is literally how can I get the customer to say yes. Because you saw there was a point where she kept throwing them rejections, and then he threw a total curveball. He gave her one of his definitions, which is perseverance, which is the ability to continue despite all obstacles. And it wasn't to show that he was pushy, it's just showing that, listen, I am really interested in you, the customer. And the scene is very short, it's like a minute long, but if you look at that scene, guys, think about that when you're talking to your customers. Think about it, like, what's my end result to them? If I notice about the customer already from a first engagement or just prior knowledge, well, how am I using that information in order to get the end result that I want? It could just be, and the thing is, if you look at that way, Lyndon, technically all he was trying to do was get a meeting.
That's exactly what I was just going to say.
All he did was trying to get a meeting. I just want 15 minutes of your time. I don't want to present to you. I just want 15 minutes of your time. But what I'm doing is giving you all the flexible options so that I could fit somewhere into the slot of your time.
And the thing is that, as Jarrod was saying, he had alternatives. Now you guys really have to look at it, right? Because when she chose the date of Sunday, again, and this is something that all of us as sales, even business owners, entrepreneurs, we need to understand this. When we're trying to get in front of the customer, we need to have an alternative that the date that we want to meet them may not be their best date.
Yeah.
So what happened is that when she said Sunday, The guy brought out a blue box and he put it on the top of the thing, and she said, well, what's this? He said, well, you said Sunday, right? Which meant that if she said Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, there was a plan for that. You understand?
There's a plan for everything. So if you're going, and yes, this pertains to like your large customers and your business in general, but I mean, guys, look at these two scenes and really, really pay attention in particular, because even the scene when he carries on the date was so much research. At every stage, you are to provide value to the potential client. It's not just calling for meeting or just calling to follow up. You have to add value. You have to have insights. And Will Smith did that at every single stage. From the first introduction to the second to the third to the end. He did everything he did in order to keep the customer's attention, in order to continuously provide value. The question is, we now as sales professionals have to always take the time that when we're visiting customers, stop giving them the blanket approach. So again, we know your product is great, you know you're the best person to sell it. Stop talking about your product and start understanding how your customer could use the product in the best place, and figure out how it is to talk to them on that level. And respect them enough to take the time to really build the best approach. Again, yes, we know what we have to sell. We always excited of talking about what we have to do, and you know, it's so hot and it can do this for you. That doesn't work anymore. You understand? What is in that for me? And that's what the customer is telling you. Even when it comes to buying the customer's time, trying to get the customer's time, like, why should I leave what I'm doing to come and listen to you? Even that is a point of value, because time is important. Even if the customer has nothing to do with the time and they just want to sit down and scratch, it is important that the customer knows, hey, giving me just about 30 seconds, 60 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes of my time, of your time, will be valuable in this regard. Here's the other thing. One more tip I'd just like to add to that. One of the main things about that movie, and this is for anyone who has sales managers that's going to be listening to this, Hitch was a coach, and Hitch continuously coached all of his clients, right? Even when he was dealing with I can't remember the guy's name, the main character who was trying to get a date with the girl, right? He was a consistent coach, and he always spoke to him about the research. He always did the role playing and stuff with him. So it's something that you have to continuously keep practicing. Very true. He did the role playing. Yeah, he did the role playing. Yes. You see, so like, I know people always talk about great sales movies like Wolf of Wall Street and Glenn Ross and Boiler Room, but you all need to look at this movie and really pay attention to it in a sales aspect. Like, to me, I love it. I think it's brilliant. I think it really touches on a lot of tips that are so key for sales right now, and it's just something that you really should pay attention to in order to really give your customers a value approach, so that if any competitor comes into play, they don't have a chance. All right? And just keep this in mind, right? Like, for instance, with Jarrod and I, we would always think about things that might seemingly like we come out of the box, but sales, creativity is a big part of sales. And for us to think like this, I mean, if you have a little understanding as to some of the things that Jarrod and I would do on the back end, outside of us doing stuff here together, it's always creative. Creativity is a big part of sales. So anybody coming into sales, anybody who in sales 2018, and you're not trying to bring a creative aspect in terms of how is it I'm going to be able to get the customer's attention, what is it that I need to be doing to really enjoy my job, then you're going to be losing a little bit, because you're going to find that people who are using that level of creativity and catching the customer's attention. I was telling a couple sales reps this 2 weeks ago, that these days customers, the mind of the customer would only stop on anything that's different. If you have 100 papers in front of you and all of them look the same, you're going to keep flicking. The one that you see written in red, or has a stamp on it, or has a stick on it, that's the one you're going to stop on. What's wrong with this? What's wrong with this one? You understand? And that sticker might just be putting 5 stars in it to say, hey, we appreciate the time you're taking a look at this paper. And I agree with you, Richmond, on that. Not everyone is creative, unfortunately, but there are ways they could do stuff and kind of break out to the most. So I 100% agree with you, but I honestly think creativity is from the factor of where people just aren't aware. Well, I think it's just awareness, because let's put it this way, some people just literally don't know. They were taught a certain way, so they stick with that certain way, they don't break the mold. Agreed. But is it Richmond? Yeah, Richmond. Richmond, I would always like to say, everybody has an imagination, and your imagination feeds into your creativity. Yeah. You understand? As we get older, as adults, we don't use our imagination side of things.
but it's never going to leave us, right? We were kind of taught to follow a particular process, but imagination is a big part, and that feeds into your creativity. And if you're having a problem thinking about a way, then it's always wise to ask somebody.
Yeah.
You understand? You have Jarrod, you have myself. You might have, well, hopefully you have someone around you based upon the profession you're in, and you may want to use your creativity. You can ask them. But there's always your creative aspect, and your creativity comes from your imagination.
Yes, that's right, Jamie. Think outside the box. And here's the last thing as we leave it, right? If it is not creative, then just Google it. And let me tell you guys something honestly. There are a million phone companies in the world to do one function, which is to help us talk.
Yes.
What matters is your execution. So you can't copy something somebody's doing. Give credit where credit is due, but your execution is what's going to let the person get your attention. So that's just me from my end.
Yeah. And if I had to drop anything in relation to helping you with your creativity, read Think and Grow Rich and look for the chapter that speaks about imagination, and it will give you information about your creativity. It is there. You understand? Yeah. It is there, and it would actually help you. And as Jarrod just said, perfect. Look at YouTube. All those things will help feed into your imagination.
And it helps. So, guys, there's it for this week's episode. And you're correct, Richard. People don't like to share knowledge, but you see it from Lyndon and I, and we just love to share every knowledge that we have. Every bit and piece of knowledge we have, we're going to make sure and share it. Right? And then, don't forget, this Thursday, Sales as a Profession, Häagen-Dazs West Mall, not Movie Town, Häagen-Dazs West Mall, from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. It's free. All you need to bring is your knowledge. All you need to do is share your experiences. That's it. There's no cost. Of course, you patronize the venue, which has wine, alcohol, ice cream, the full works, waffles, coffee. It's there. All right, guys. So thanks for tuning in. Go and watch the movie and see exactly what we're talking about.
It's a brilliant movie. It's a good way to pass the time too.
Actually, as a matter of fact, if you're interested, just send me a message, and what I'll do, I'll actually just copy and paste the 2 links of the 2 scenes you're talking about so you could see it. All right? But thanks so much, guys. Have a happy Sunday.
Peace.